Hi, everyone. It is May 23rd, 2023, Nefio, SIG Automation, Workload Cluster Subproject. So where are we? Very, very, very close to the end of the month. We're going to have one more meeting next week, but that's very close to the end, and we really wanted to do a code freeze by then. So we're still missing two components. So what I wanted to do, well, there's not much of my screen to share here. I wanted to ask, so we have Ronak here. Could we?
Yeah,
Yeah, hi.
to
So could
tell
we?
that hi.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So,
Yeah.
so the AMF is ready. Actually, I was trying to create a PR, but due to the branch issue, the old PR, old code is updated as a PR. So let Vishal come. I will tell him to upload from his ID. So AMF is ready.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to ask. I'll ask Antu later to just commit what she has. I think we're at the point where we just can't delay anymore. So even if the PR is not quite ready, maybe the community can help. It'll just be easier if the code is in the repository. And yeah, we know it might be broken, but in my opinion, my personal opinion, it would be better to have the code in the repository broken at this point so we could try to fix it together, if that makes sense.
Sure,
But
sure,
it
sure.
sounds, Ronak, that you're already ready with a good PR.
Yeah.
That's excellent, excellent news. Anything you
Mm.
want to share about something you got stuck with or some to
Yeah,
do?
actually, not exactly stuck. Just service part I'm preparing. So it will be prepared by tonight, IST.
Terrific, terrific. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um, so that's the big one.
yeah. Rest
uh,
config map, controller, and test file already.
Very good. Yep. So yeah, once we have all of the three together, I do want to do a round of cleanups. So we will all kind of look at them together and make sure they're consistent, because I'm sure they won't be. We have controllers developed by different people, and I'm sure even though everybody, Denise gave the starting UPF, but I'm sure everybody has a slightly different style. So we'll try to stylistically make it coherent, and yeah, just look at maybe general issues to clean up. But this is great. Um, we are,
Well, well,
yeah.
Giresh. On SMF part, I think Anne has completed almost only the testing part is remaining. I think she has updated in the Slack channel. She has
Yeah, I
facing it.
did. Right. I saw that as well. It just seems that we were very, very close for a
Yes,
week
yes.
now. So this is why I'm
For,
saying, yeah,
for a couple of test cases, it is failing. So that's
yeah,
we are working on.
yeah. I do understand that. So that's why I suggested maybe she should. I'll talk to her later. Maybe she just should commit the code as is, even if there are two tests failing, and we can fix them together maybe.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah, that was my suggestion. But I'll talk to her later and see what she thinks. If she thinks she needs one more day, then we can wait. But we're at the point that we just can't afford any more delays. So
Yeah, no
yeah,
issues.
yeah. So she can comment out those tests and just put in the code. That's my suggestion. um, yeah. So one other, if we get those in, we're in a good place. We can start to move to really end-to-end testing of Nefio as a whole. If everybody else is ready. We're still missing the part for the edge status aggregator. Myself and Stephen are working on it. So they're just missing parts to the API, to the topology controller, so everything can be tight. But we made a few more commits, PRs, and I think we're very close to having that piece ready. Yeah, I don't have anything else. Oh, I think everybody already saw on Slack that I do have a PR if anybody is interested in looking in it for the Free5GC repository for building our container images for Free5GC. Anybody who, you know what, I'll share my screen.
I took a look. So I put my LGTME labels there. So the question is right now, if you build containers and push them, so can we use them in controllers?
Yeah, I pushed them. So I will, here, I'll share my screen. So yeah, you can see, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Right, so I think, so it's very straightforward. There's there's a Docker build for everything. What I did do is make sure to have the latest tag as well as the version number from Free5GC. The default is 321. They are very, very similar, almost identical to the images we've been using until now that were from the Towards 5GS project by Orange. So if you just replace Towards 5GS with Nefio for the group name under Docker.io, it should just work.
And what is the name of individual? It will be UPF or how do you call
Same
it?
thing. So it would be Free5GC-UPF.
Okay.
And the tag version would be 321. So really exactly the same. I kept the structure the same. Yeah, and I'm building all the images, even though we're not using them. You know what? It's hard to read this way. I want to go here. Here we go. Yeah, so I put it as an extra subdirectory. However, I've created another issue where I would actually like to move our Free5GC operator subdirectory to the main. This is just a strange structure that we kept from before that is just unnecessary. There's no reason to have a subdirectory here in my view. It's just not very standard for Go, usually. So yeah, but once we get all the, this will be part of the cleanup once we get all the controllers in. I don't want to make things difficult right now. So yeah, so let's look at the images, just if people are curious how they constructed it. So again, I didn't really change much from what Orange did because I don't want to rock the boat at this point. I did upgrade to Golang, the latest version of Golang. So yeah, if people don't know, Free5GC is written in Go, which is kind of neat to write networking components in Go. Not very common, but there you go. So it makes things a little bit nicer for us that all our code is in Go, but it doesn't really matter because we're just consuming it. I did upgrade to a newer version of Alpine for the base image. But yeah, just to show you how it works, they built it, they used a two-phase build for Docker, which is a pretty nice way to build, where first you have one image that is the builder, that's based on the builder image, which is the latest version of Golang. And then they actually build the image itself based on Alpine, and they copy files over from the other container. So we use one container to build, and then one container to package.
Just as a best practice, you know, it's a build container, right? And we don't care how many layers in that container.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
Okay, then
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah. So this is, you know, we talked about this before about what to use for cat packages, etc. And I think some of the conversations, you know, I like to use Builda as a tool, which is just much cleaner than all of this, but it can do the same thing, right? So I think a lot of our conversations are, well, you know, it really depends. Actually, I should preface this. Because this is written in Go, you can actually do this because Go has almost no dependencies. So if you build Go on one Linux and copy it to another, it will usually just work. Of course, if you're building something in C, you might need all these dependencies that might be different in the other operating system. So in that case, things might be different, more difficult. So it's an advantage of Go that it doesn't really matter, right? So yeah, there's no reason to build and package in the same. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you'll see. I did simplify their version a little bit. I think they made some sort of complicated installations on top of the Golang image, but we do need, if you're curious, why Node.js here with Yarn, it's for the web console. So we're also packaging the FreeFiveDC web console. It's not part of our scope for Nephio, but it could possibly be nice in the future, or if people just want to, with themselves play with it, install the web console front end. I have not tested this. I have not tested this, but it's there in our images. Yeah, and then what happens that this is the base image, and any of the other images, for example, UPF, are based on that base image that we built. And then they do just a little bit more things. They copy and over from that, the builder image, right? So again, this is two-phase. We take our base as one image, but then our own image copies from that builder the files that we want. So the base image includes all the components, all the network functions, and then we copy what we want over, which includes both the binaries and the configuration files, and sometimes a little bit more, right? Because as you know, some components, UPF requires IP routing, which we add in the wrapper script. So what I'm hoping to do in the future, and I know I got a little bit of resistance from this, who don't want me to change things in the last minute, but I think we can actually include the wrapper script or a better version of the wrapper script already here. Right, so there's no reason to run it externally. So because we're building our own image, we can include that script.
Well, like the only question from my side always, it's what time you're going to build it, because you need to have prefixes, and those are, we know them only when, let's say, config sync pushes not topology, but UPF or MF or SMF manifest like into workload cluster.
Right. Well, the thing is, I think our wrapper script could be better. That's just it. It's it could do more stuff and do that work for you. Yeah.
For sure. You can template it, but still some input parameters, you cannot avoid them, right? So you need prefixes. And a time when you know them is a bit limited.
Sure, right. Let's see, where's the wrapper script again? So
you need prefixes, you need pool, you need interfaces in order to put them into IP tables. It's not that this information is generic. It will be per UPF, per time of deployment, per namespace, and so on and so forth.
So what you're asking, this is not a packaging issue. This is more about how we deal with this generally.
Yeah, the wrapper script has the config time parameters. They're not build time parameters.
Yes, yeah, exactly. This is a good way to define it. Let's say we don't know the if you look into the net instance data networks, we don't know them before, unless somebody or we have additional components which is going to build images before starting control or something like this.
Well, I think all of this is solvable, but it sounds like again, people don't want to make changes right now, right? Because this is done with templating, but I think this could also be done with.
I'm fine with this template, so not against it. I just don't understand the timing here who is going to build this container and when.
Well, I thought I would work on the script, but yeah, it's not urgent. I just find it very unelegant. I know it's just an aesthetic thing, but the fact that we create this wrapper script and attach it. You know, it's just a little bit strange for me, right?
Okay. Well, we can talk offline about this stuff a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah, I just don't think this is a great practice. I think what should happen is that your container images should be complete. And yeah. Yeah, and there are various reasons I can explain that, but okay. Yeah, it's not critical. We can just use it as is right now. It's okay. Yeah, so that's it. I don't know. There's not much I can add.
I have another question since we are talking about images. If you can go into the controllers, into make file inside that repository, there is an image like which is for operator itself, right, to run. It's in my file right here. So right now it's still kind of under my so we need to change it. So we need to put Nefio and 35GC. I asked Rado to create the latest, right? So or some version which we want. He put on the build ID, and build ID kind of I'm not sure it's ideal for us because we don't know build ID. We need a versioning for this stuff and also latest, I guess.
Yeah, actually, so I would change two things. I would put Nefio here, so it'll use the images
for
I
sure.
built. And also, I'm not in favor of using latest tags at all. I think we should lock it to the version. If you do latest, this means that in the future, somebody will run the same thing and it might break. So
sure, but what is the version then? If you put into control 001?
Sorry, 3.2.1 is the latest version of FreeFiveGC. So that's the version we tested with, and that's the version we should use.
But that is a version of FreeFiveGC software, not version of the controller.
Oh, this is for the operator, but don't we use both? Oh no, of course, we use that image configuration thing. Yeah. So, no, you're right. We need to decide together. I think let's talk about this in SIG release, what we do with the tags for all our images, because I think maybe it should be V1 for Nefio R1, right?
Then put R1, right? So
maybe R1, but we can do it R1. You're right. We can just use R1. But yeah, let's decide. I think this should be a topic for SIG release. So because we're also building images from Ket, let's decide on what tag to do for all our images.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah, I
then
think
once it is decided, I will push it. Like just update these two lines.
Yeah, and by the way, we'll need to do
release
both.
images, right? Just to understand.
Let me just finish. We'll need to do both. When we tag, we should not tag just the image, but we should also tag latest. So both of them.
Okay, fair.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a simple fix. You can just add another line here or a tag line.
I have a question. For this R1, we are using 321 or 320 as an image.
For FreeFiveGC, we've been using the latest, I think 321.
321. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm using 320.
Oh, okay. I think 321 is a really minor bug fix. I don't think anything will change. But yeah, please switch to 321, and also please switch to the Nefio.org one. Sorry, yeah, the Nefio images, so we can make sure that they're tested and they work well.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I was in terms of images, you're talking about the release images, right? Tom? Because I think he's already tagging. Yeah, he's tagging. I think he's tagging with 2 right now. I think the way I understand, Rado is doing the latest and also.
You're right. You're actually right, because the Power job is building it, not the make file.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are 2 images I think he's pushing right now. One is the latest, the one is the with the commit ID or something.
Build ID. He created a PR for latest because I asked him to add latest.
Yes.
But the PR is not merged yet.
I think.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think I
So
did a
actually-
LGTM. If one of Tal, if you do the LGTM there, since you have the power, that will be merged.
But no, to just add in that PR that we need also, like for UPF, for instance, we need the version R1, or let's decide on the tag first and then add that version.
That is that may be a separate PR.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that'll be a separate PR, but it's true. We're not actually using the make file. So
Well,
to be honest,
let's say I use it during the testing, right? Because I need to do make deploy to put it into the cluster.
exactly. No, my point was this. The make file is for developers. It's not for our release process. So in that case, I think tag should be latest here and should not actually be for Nefio. I think, well, definitely we shouldn't use, Denise, we shouldn't use your own personal one. But I think we should put some dummy value here, because this will be, every developer will be using their own, right? So yeah, in that case, let's not put Nefio here, because we don't want to overwrite the actual Nefio release. And we don't have the credentials anyway. So yeah, this make file, these commands are not for actual publishing. These are for testers, for developers. So everything I said before, ignore. That all goes to the to the PROW process. And speaking of PROW, so the make file for the images, which I just showed, right? So this, this actually does push to Nefio, but this is not something we run as part of our usual pipeline, right? Because we only need to update these images if the Free 5GC project releases a new version, or if we want to make I don't know, we want to upgrade Alpine or Golang or something like that. So
yeah, that can be done manually, or we can
right,
ask somebody
exactly,
from a SIG release to track it, something like that.
Right. So I'm not sure this has to be integrated into PROW. We could, but in this case, the make file is actually the definitive one for publishing. So it's a bit different, right? But it's different because this is external. This is not our development. This is an external project that we're just packaging. Okay. Okay. I think we covered it. So I think the issue is clear with the difference between the make file and PROW and what we need to do. And yeah, maybe find just some sort of dummy name here.
But okay, so dummy name, that is fine. And then during the testing, we just change to the, let's say,
exactly.
like,
Every developer should.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every developer should in registry give their own. Right, and they don't have to use Docker. Some people like to use Quay. Some people like to install locally their own container image registry. You do not have to use the public ones. So
yeah, but we should not forget to update it back to to the dummy one when something is pushed, or otherwise it will be mentioned in the PR itself that image is not correct.
Yeah. So not critical right now. Let's wait until we actually have all the controller code committed, and then we'll go and clean up things that,
sure,
in my opinion, this is kind of low-hanging fruit to make this better. But yeah. Okay, I think that's everything. Anybody think of anything else to discuss?
Yeah, if it's okay, I pasted the board link. If you could click on that and see. I thought we may need to do some. We can move some items to the close. Just wanted to see what you think. Some of this that are in progress.
Sure. I mean, I can say that this is done. The PR hasn't been hasn't been merged yet, but
I think you also can. Yeah, the first one you can probably do something with UPF controller, right? So there were two issues, one for APIs, another one for, this below one. UPF deployment check into project. Yeah, this one. So that has been done.
Configuration changes for UPF.
There is a PR in 35GC repo for that stuff. If you can take a look at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what
You
about
remember?
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
You remember that stuff which we discussed last week. So I push PR, and if it's okay, we can merge and or
Okay. There are
Okay. Yeah.
probably,
Sorry.
I think probably team can take a look at this. There are quite a
Yeah.
few
I will look
questions.
at this after the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So.
Can we just run by it one by one? That may be
Sure. Sure.
yeah. Implement a unit test. Is that done? I think that may be done, right?
This is. I think you made it kind of an epic, right? Or
No.
oh,
Yeah,
well, I mean, we build it. I'm not sure why we needed this separate issue, but
okay.
the 3 controllers are not done. So I don't know if you want to wait until they're all done.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Second one
that
is
one can SMF can be because you see definition chicken into Nephi that has been done.
That's for
You
the
remember
API,
that?
right?
Oh, so
Yeah.
all the definitions. Okay.
Because we work based on what Vim has pushed into.
Design the operator. I think we've designed the operator.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, the SMF has the.
No, that is not. No, there is IMF definition check-in into Nephi, like issue number 89.
Yeah, but I'm looking just a second at 88. So. Okay, so we are waiting on. All right, there's some more stuff with SMF. All right, so with 89, we think it's done for AMF.
It's all of them, UPF, SMF, and IMF. They're all in
API.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and this is the one that you're working on. Let me just link your pull request. Okay. Let's look at the to-do list. Implement initial. I don't entirely understand what this means.
Oh, this is the package where you do that the KPT packages for.
Oh, the cat package. Well, we already have it. That's the free 5GC packages Git repository.
Okay,
right?
then that means we can move it to close then.
Yeah, I mean, it might need to be fixed a little bit when we do end-to-end testing, but it is initial here.
Okay, got it. Second one is Epic. We can ignore it.
Yeah.
The third one is that.
No, we don't have all the NFs yet.
Yeah.
It is a next step, I guess. Once all 3 checked in and merged, then we will try to integrate them together.
Yeah, yeah.
And then factor how to mock KubeBuilder resources. I think that may be something.
Yeah, I think that might be to put in the backlog.
Yeah, I think so. I'll put that in the backlog. Yeah. Manual test call user sim. That's the last one. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, and this is the one I created about moving the subdirectory. So yeah, I'll wait until everything is done and it'll be part of the cleanup.
Okay, got it. So I think I like what you said in the beginning of the meeting for the existing things. If the PR in a decent shape, let's get it in the repo. I like that comment.
Yeah, even if it's not in decent shape.
Okay.
That was my point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
even if there may be, what I meant to say is even if there are bugs or something, we can fix it later once we have. Yeah.
I'll remind everybody we're doing this kind of Kanban board, but we're not agile. This is not CI/CD. We're not pushing to production or anything. So I think we should be more flexible with our pull requests. Not every PR has to be perfect. You're not breaking somebody in production. So we're good. Okay, guys, it's we have one more meeting before the end of the month. I expect a lot of activity this week. Once we get the PRs in, which should be today and tomorrow, I hope, then we will have the complete operator and we can really start testing it. And whoever has time and wants to play around with UE Ransom can absolutely try to set up a call, a test call.
Once AMF SMF ready, so I will just piggyback on Orange work and what they have done with Helm charts.
Yeah,
for the time
exactly.
being. And late,
yeah, we
and
expect
later
it to
on
be
we will
relevant.
think. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Can we may I ask, like, once all PRs, both IMF and SMF there, can we do another quick meeting, like with smaller audience, and just go through them, like, and then if everything's fine, or if not, if something is not fine, so we fix it. If everything is fine, we merge it, and then define another time when we sit together and, like, set up, get a cluster, set up all three controllers, and then,
I mean,
like,
we can do it next Tuesday, or you think we need even before that?
I think so, yeah. If everything is ready, let's say by Friday, let's say, let's do a quick thing, catch up on Friday and try to do something.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We've been doing ad hoc meetings in small groups all the time. So yeah, let's announce it maybe more publicly so whoever wants can join. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we should do that. We've been doing these already.
So I think if we can aim to get this PRs this week, that would be great. Or probably the next week we can start the integration testing.
I want the PRs today and tomorrow. Honestly, I think we need it then. So, but we're gonna have SMF today, and I'll just reach out to Antu and see. Sorry, we'll get AMF today, and I'll reach to Antu about SMF. ASAP.
She's actually online. She's posting something in Slack. Maybe she's just.
Oh, okay, she's just not in the meeting. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think she's very, very close. I think she's just missing a test. So if she feels like she can finish it soon.
In the worst case, we can comment that test, right? So,
exactly. That was my point. I think we're at the point that we should do that and not wait anymore, in my opinion. Okay. Anything else?
And just one last point, Charles, the last item, the support configuration changes for SMF. I think that will follow the same paradigm as UPF. The one you suggested, right? You suggested a way to trick the deployment.
Exactly. This is part of what I talked about, consistency between the three controllers. So UPF is the most advanced one. So we'll probably make the other ones more like the others. But you know what? Let's look at the code. Maybe other people did interesting things that could affect UPF as well. So that's why we kind of all need to meet and see what everybody did and make sure that our implementation is consistent. And also, Denise, when he wrote the UPF controller, he tried to put functions out into a util file. So yeah, we'll probably have a lot of duplication, and that's part of what I want to do is streamline it to make sure that we're not repeating code.
Cool.
So,
I know for sure. I looked into the code which Anne wrote in her repository, so she's using those functions. I'm not sure about Ronak if they try to do the same or not.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, from my look, I think we can even have some more utility functions because there's going to be more similarities. But yeah, that's kind of the easy stuff, right? It's yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
We're in a not bad place. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.